right.
What's up?
Episode 6.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
7. Episode
Yeah.
7.
Yes.
You've done 7 already?
We've done 7. Now, we've only rolled them out once every Sunday. So yours just posted. I listened to it this morning.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Awesome.
With one mistake on my part with the editing, but that's fine. This episode, we were going to dive into dating, right?
Okay.
We're gonna get into some nitty gritty on like social construct. We're gonna get into what to do, what not to do. I kind of wanted to start with a question to
Okay.
you guys, which we've kind of heard this over time, but it's shocking that you go a little deeper and it gets worse. Okay, what percentage of men are over 6 feet tall in the world?
Are you asking us to guess?
Yeah. Give me a guess. 23.
33.
Okay, 14% of men
What?
are over 6 feet tall. What percentage of men make over $100,000 a year?
Are there age brackets, or are there just general?
We're gonna get there.
Oh Lord, I don't know. 40.
18.
17%. So Brandon, you're really close.
Apparently,
17%.
I'm giving people a lot more.
Now, how you get to what men are both of those things? 14 times 17, you get 2.3% of the population of men that are over 6 feet tall and that make over $100,000. Now, from that, we're not controlling for age, weight, or status, relationship status. So let's assume that we're looking for an age group between 35 to 45. The number goes to men in the age range of 35 to 45 that make over $100,000 a year and over 6 feet tall. And
That is crazy.
we're not even talking about now, are you attracted to them or their personality?
Just height
we
and
still
money.
haven't accounted, and we still haven't we haven't accounted for their status, so whether they're single or not, nor location of these men. So,
Height,
They're not
height
in the
and money.
U.S.
so in the reality of what women want is what we kind of hear, right? Certain criterias. It's very, very small pool.
I would agree.
Now, Heather, I've seen some of your dates
Thank you.
in the past.
I'm not sure how I should take that.
No, I just
I'm gonna sip on this while Joel gets up.
I might need to start sipping too with this conversation.
the height is a big deal to you, but you tend to go on dates with that aren't that tall.
That is true. Now, I want to be sensitive here to the under 6 feet club. But yes, ideally, it would be nice to date somebody who was my height or taller. But it is really, really hard to find that. And I don't want to be superficial. And so if somebody I'm physically attracted to them and, they treat me well and we align in some way, shape, or form, I'll give them a chance.
Yeah.
Where I feel bad because I do have a little bit of an issue sometimes is if I want to wear heels. I'm 5'10.5". I don't wear heels often, but if I do, and it's funny because I don't feel bad for myself. I always worry that they're going to feel a little uncomfortable because, now I'm, what am I, 6'2", 6'3", depending on my heels. And it's been a 5'8" situation for a while. So,
What about men wearing heels? Is that a problem?
well,
There's a movement. Men are wearing heels nowadays.
not high heels. They're just wearing
No,
boots.
they're putting insoles in their boots.
Prince wore heels.
Prince wore heels,
Prince is from my town.
but they're putting 2 to 2.5 inch insoles in their shoes.
You know what? I say if that makes them feel better when they're out and nobody can tell, then good for them. But I said they need to disclose that.
They do need. That's kind of like if you're a transsexual, you need to disclose that.
Just need to disclose it. But you know what? I wouldn't feel bad, and this is going to come off, and I hope I don't rub some people the wrong way, but if I want to wear heels one night, I am not going to hate it if he wants to put some extenders in his shoes so that maybe we're a little bit more eye to eye.
Would that be a gift that you're going to give a guy?
No, that'd be like giving me a vacuum cleaner.
How would
No.
Brandon? Not to put you on the spot. How tall are you?
When I'm fat, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'9" now that I'm leaning back out.
Nice. The compression. Are we talking about compression here?
I guess I stopped going this way and I started going that way.
But here's the deal, Brandon. You got this hair, right? So you can give the illusion of a few more inches because you got the hair.
Yeah, but I just got this hair. This is only like a year in the making. Maybe a little bit over. I didn't buy it.
I'm going to see him next, and his hair is going to get taller.
It's a little Don King.
Here's the deal. I've been short, obviously, my entire life. Well,
5'9" is not short.
I guess relative
Yeah.
short. Short's relative. I know, but I've been under 6 feet my entire life.
Mhm.
I was more insecure about my weight than I ever was about my height. Like I can't do anything about my height. And honestly, if she's tall, I'll climb that damn tree. Like I got an axe that'll knock that damn thing down in a heartbeat. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know, if she wants to look down at, you know, my sister is 17 years old. She graduates this year. Jesus Christ. And she's like 5'7", 5'8", maybe. And so when she puts on heels, she can get pretty tall. And her ex-boyfriend, I think, was like 5'4", 5'5", maybe. And that was a thing for her. The fact that she felt like she always had to wear flats. If they were going somewhere formal or somewhere nice, going to a dance or whatever, she'd always wear flats because she didn't want to be taller than him. And you know, and it breeds insecurity on both sides, because short guys feel insecure, but taller girls feel insecure because we live in a society where, you know, it's just not cool to be a taller woman, just like it is not cool to be a short guy. I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
see, I love my height. I like walking into a room and just feeling like I can command the room. Not that I'm seeking attention. Like I'm not like, because I'm not. I don't dress. You know, I don't dress all thirsty and stuff like that. But I like feeling. I'm confident. I like feeling, you know, strong, powerful.
Yeah.
So that I'm not insecure about my height. My big thing is.
Have you always felt that way?
Yeah, I've never been insecure about my height. I love my height. In fact, I used to wear 3-4 inch heels on the daily. So here's where mine comes. So I'm not ripping on anybody I've dated because I chose to date them, and obviously I love them and all those things, right? But what I will say is I've always been very self-aware when it comes to the potential of emasculating men, because I realized that with my profession, my previous profession, I was always kind of in control. So in my job, I was in control all the time. And then it would go into my personal life to where I was doing the man things. I think I touched on this before. Like I'd go into a restaurant, I need to let him be the man. I need to let him open the door if he wants to open the door. I need to let him go up to the hostess and say 2 for whatever. You know what I mean? And I would just take over all of those roles. So I don't want to not choose somebody if I feel like there's a connection just because of their height.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I think if you dive into it, Brandon, you hit on this. You never were insecure. I think that there's stereotypes for a reason, right? Because stereotypes tend to be, there's like an underlying small truth there. And the stereotypical comment about, let's say, shorter guys is that small man syndrome, or
some people have it.
They have that. So I've seen it where they're overcompensating in their personality with being more aggressive, or certain aspects where like they're trying to bring people down around them and not uplift. Now I've seen opposites, obviously, Brandon, a champion of men, a champion of women, anybody you're around. So it's different when you're confident just in general. So I think it goes back to, are you confident in who you are?
Exactly. That's a great point. When a guy is confident, I don't notice the height as much. I notice it, of course, but it doesn't matter to me because the way he carries himself.
Exactly.
But if a guy is not confident, they're, you know, trying to overcompensate, they're getting loud, they're doing all the things to try to seem or appear bigger. Yeah. That is not something that I'm attracted to. I don't believe that's anything that most women are attracted to. Confidence is very attractive.
Very attractive.
For men too.
Oh my God. Yeah. So
I think part of it for me too was the fact that it wasn't my fault that my mom boned the shortest Negro she could find. Like that had nothing to do. Like, I had no control over that. What I did have control over is eating right and exercising and making myself look better in those ways. But I can't make myself taller. So I mean, like, why am I going to sit there and stew over it when I have no control over that whatsoever?
Right.
Now I will tell you, there is a procedure.
I saw.
No.
I saw.
I heard a whole podcast on it about a procedure where they will literally go in to your thigh. They'll break the bone they'll cut it in half. They will add basically 2 rods on each side of your bone. And over time, they slip in a disc, and that disc will expand. And it'll keep your bone in line. But they have an app, so it's a smart device. And over time, they separate it every couple of weeks, or how you're feeling.
So they expand it, sort of like breast implants. They just
they'll give you like a couple of inches. And there were guys on there that were talking about their procedure to the news reporter, and the concerns of like long-term effects and what did it mean for them and why would they do it. One guy you could tell he's very arrogant, very much not confident with who he was. He was like, "No, I'm going to do this again. I want to be 6'3", and I think he was 5'7". So this dude is going to have really long legs, really long thighs, let's say that, and a shorter torso, and he's going to look off, but he's a very wealthy guy.
But I feel like that's where the medical, like the doctor should step in, and there should be some limitations.
Yeah, and they're not in this scenario because it is it's called a, it's not a medical procedure for health. It's purely for aesthetics, and that is another beast because it's not governed under insurance. They're governed under medical practices and things like that, but you kind of do a lot of things outside of the view. So
I said, learn to love yourself.
I thought it was
Talk
interesting.
positively about yourself. Don't try to change every aspect of yourself.
It's true.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself. Maintain a healthy body because that's what's going to
change and develop the things that you can.
Yeah.
Is what Brandon.
I mean, and a little Botox here and there is okay.
I mean, I've done plenty of stuff.
All of it.
You're my Metro friend.
I'm your Metro. She did say that about me.
I told him a long time ago he's my Metro friend.
When we first met, I think you told me you thought I was gay.
Well, I didn't 100% think you were gay. I was just wondering.
Thank you. It's so sweet.
I was wondering.
I appreciate that.
Because you wore the skinny jeans really well. You were doing the procedures.
Slim, not skinny, slim.
By the way, never mind. We're good.
So dating life for, I'd say mid-30s and 40s. Okay. That's kind of where our niche is going to be with what we can give it as advice. So newly single, a year, 20, getting back into it, I was out of my element. I forgot how to flirt. I forgot everything. Now tapping into my younger years where I developed a skill to flirt was much easier. Getting back into it.
I got to call you out though. I don't think you forgot to flirt. Because do you remember the wine night at my apartment one night? We were hanging out, talking about dating, and you were trying to convince me at that time, that was a couple years ago, to get on the dating sites. And then you were telling me that you learned, I believe it was back in the service, like you followed this guy and he taught you how to, I don't know, I want to say get a woman, but I think I might be wording that wrong. Going to the bars and get women to just like flock to you.
No, I don't think I forgot. I was out of practice. I think I mentioned this to you, Brandon.
Okay, out of practice.
The guy who wasn't the greatest looking dude.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed at what he was able to do with his words. It was blowing me away.
That's the confidence.
He was very confident because he had been trained on how to build confidence and how to open group sets and how to present himself in a way that it disarmed people.
Yeah.
Which then decreases the amount of times that someone can actually make you look stupid. And that's the biggest fear for men, I think, with approaching women.
Rejection.
It's rejection. It's if I say this, or am I going to get the reaction I want, or am I going to get the reaction that is, ew, get away from me, you're gross, or any other form of disapproval with who that person is. And I think stepping over that boundary for myself as well, even though I didn't have the problem before, but then understanding how he did it led me to even more confidence with what they call opening a set, approaching a single, opening a double, or a 3-set or a 4-set. You just named the number
of people.
Okay. Yeah, because then you're not limiting yourself and like, oh, she's standing by herself. So let's talk about dating in the bar scene, I guess.
Let's do it.
Because I think dating apps are cool for what they are, and you can date there, but you're going into the expectation that this is already a date. Whereas if you're just meeting someone organically, it could be just friendly, which could lead into flirting and all the other things. I much preferred the latter, meeting someone organically.
Right. I haven't been in the dating world for a while, but organic would be the way I'd want to do it.
Yeah.
Dating sites, I really don't have an interest. I feel like it's like flipping through a catalog. You know what I mean? And there's always I'm not speaking for myself. I'm saying there's always the next best thing, or there's never any.
Yes.
It's just you just keep going and going and going and going. And I think, wasn't that you that was talking to me about how guys will try to like confuse the algorithm? So sometimes they'll sit at home and
confused it.
Okay, he's the one. He's responsible.
Well, the algorithm is based off of how many responses you get independently. So whether So for men, we get much less response. The dating apps are just like the bar.
Yeah.
So women have control. They're going to get hit on way more. They're going to get way more likes. We'll take one site where most women on, like, let's say Tinder or Bumble or any of those, they get the already liked. So somebody's already liked you.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll just go to that list, and it's so long they never get to the other side where they're actually liking people first. For the man to be able to respond with, "Oh, I do like you." So there's two separate little sections there. Most girls get just the already previously liked, and then they're already tapping out. They're like, "Oh my God, it's too much."
When I was on the dating sites, I rarely got any likes.
Me as well.
And I thought that was bizarre. And the likes that I did get were from the people that I would assume are doing the same thing that you were saying, confusing the algorithm, and they would sit there and play Fortnite and swipe right constantly and hope something stuck or they couldn't read.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They do take into account that, like, attractiveness or likes that other person gets. So I'll be honest, it worked, but it didn't work as effectively as, I would have hoped, purely based off because I didn't look at who I swiped on. I just kept swiping.
Brandon,
so then I would get a lot of likes back from not attractive people.
Yeah.
People that I would never go on a date with. But it looked like I was being very elevated in the stats purely based off of how many people were liking me.
Why can't it just be more simple? Why do the algorithms have to get involved? Brandon, you have a lady, correct?
I do.
Are you married? I can't remember.
I am not married.
Not yet.
Not opposed to being married, but I'm not married.
Okay. So how long has it been since you've done the whole dating site, or have you never?
I never really did dating sites.
Okay.
I think I'm the least photogenic person in the world, so I was just doomed from the fucking beginning.
Me too, man.
You were the one that takes it from this angle.
Yeah. I look like a 57-year-old freshly divorced, just retired from Exxon or some shit like that. Like I didn't get into it much. Plus, I was always in environments that were extremely social, and so I met tons of people.
Okay.
All the time, especially whether when I was pastoring, there was just tons of girls all over the place, and whenever I was doing the music. In like the Mastros and places like that, there was tons of girls always there as well. So
yeah,
I just never really got into the dating site stuff. I really don't even know how to use it, honestly.
Yeah, Joel, I remember when Joel's the one that got me on the dating site a while ago. It was a long
2021 into 2022.
Yeah, and I would get so frustrated, right? Because nobody was liking me, and there was nobody on there. He's like, "Let me see what you're doing." So I remember I was sitting at my counter and I was just swiping left. He's like, slow down. I'm like, I don't have to. He's like, you're looking at the first picture. I'm like, that's all I need. If they can't put their best face forward, I don't need to waste my time and go down and look. And he's like, but they could think that's the best picture. I said, well, then they don't have any common sense and I don't want to date them.
Well, I purposely did not put that great of photos.
What?
I did that because I said, okay, if you're going to swipe on me or take the time to read my profile and look at all my photos, and you still give me a chance, then you were going to be pleasantly surprised when we meet in person, which is the alternative, which is the opposite. Sorry, not alternative, but the opposite of what I got. I got catfished than the other, but I got every single date was the same thing. You're way better looking in person.
But I feel like your pictures were
way better looking in person.
Me.
I know, but they weren't the best. They weren't the person you see. It's hard to tell, videos. This sucks. I look like a crazy person,
well,
but it's just better. It's better live.
No, bro, you're hot.
But everything's better live.
I understand.
Everything's better live. That was my kind of way to weed out.
Well, I'm talking like the camera's down here, and so you're looking up their nose.
I would agree. I'd agree.
Where
a lot of girls are like, no fish.
And then I'm like, if that's what it's going to look like, definitely not.
Yeah, you need a full body. You need a half body and a close.
I just don't want you looking down at me at that angle.
Agree. The dating apps suck. And you were right. You get sucked into a cycle where you think the next best thing is one swipe away, which it's not.
Yeah.
Because you'll get into a cycle in your head where you are addicted to the swipe, and you'll sit there for hours and just roam through them and then wait to see if someone has responded or if someone has liked you first or any of those things. I hate it. It's not what humans were designed to do.
Well, and you've got your beautiful lady now, so
hey.
you are done.
Well, we met in person,
Right. That's what I'm
and then
saying.
we connected on a dating app. So I can see both sides of the coin here.
Yeah.
And the benefit. Not that I wouldn't have ever met her in person again, because I would bring dates and sit in front of her, unbeknownst to me, that she knew or recognized it every time I did it. So, but she never said anything to me. So I'm like, how am I supposed to know that was a negative? Not that it was a negative. It actually attracted her more to me. She says
that would not work for me.
She just said,
I'd give it
in her mind, though, she wasn't thinking this dude's doing it to get at me.
Mm-hmm.
But who is this guy? Kind of thing. More so. Not like I'm pissed at him because he's doing it to get to me.
Yeah.
It was more like, man, he's on a lot of dates. What's his story? More of intrigue.
Oh, so she was intrigued.
She was
How you
intrigued.
were getting that many women, and then how you were
Right.
reason enough.
And
to
then
bring them to her
she's told me,
establishment.
she's like, she's judging them, which is what everyone does. Well, she's not that pretty. Well, she's not that pretty. Or, whatever. It doesn't like they're having a good time. It's twisted on.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
But see,
Keep talking.
Joe would drive a girl crazy in the sense of, and I think I'm the same way in some regards. Like I can be
Other way.
I can be so nonchalant. Like if we're not dating, it's like okay, we're just not. I'm just gonna do my thing, and if something else comes up, then we'll just do something else. Yeah.
We're gonna take 2 seconds here. I'm gonna fix the mic over here.
You know what? I'm just not going to touch it. We're good. It'll just balance. Sit still.
Heather, don't break the mic. So let's talk about some do's and don'ts in dating. So I just printed out a couple things, and I love ChatGPT. So this is from a computer program that says do's and don'ts when it comes to men and women in dating. Let's see. I'll label them out, and then you just tell me what you think of it. Be punctual for men. Be punctual to a date.
I think that goes both ways. Otherwise, it looks like you are disinterested or not taking it seriously if you can't be there on time.
Listen actively. Don't just like sit there and think about the next thing you're going to say. Mm-hmm. It's just pure communication skill, right? Listen actively.
Yeah, I agree with that. Marie said that one of the reasons why she ended up going back on a date with me and ended up dating me was our first date. We went to, first of all, did you know that Carrabba's has an original Carrabba's off of like Upper Kirby?
No.
So she wanted to go to Carrabba's. She's from Kuntz, Texas. So when she said she wanted to go to Carrabba's, I was like, this is the country's ass shit. But whatever, we can go to Carrabba's, fine. We pull up to this Carrabba's, bro. There's goddamn valet outside. There's sommeliers in there. I mean, there's all kind of shit. There's bathroom attendants. It's the only Carrabba's like that, but it's the original. Anyway, so we went there. And I sat there and listened to her talk probably for 3 or 4 hours. And that's one thing she said. She said, I had never felt so heard in my life. You just sat there and let me, but I was really interested in what she had to say. I wasn't just letting her ramble and kind of like disengaged. I really cared about what she had to say. So I think that matters.
You are a very good listener and you're very articulate when you speak. I'm very impressed with
and you're very clean.
Yeah. Like when you really, really listen very well. And you respond very accurately and articulately based on what you hear. So that's like, that's impressive.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I noticed that right away.
Great communication.
I'm working on it. I am an active listener, but at the same point, I get really excited and just want to participate.
You do get excited. I'll be honest with you, Heather. You get really excited and you jump to the next. I'm not sure how you're on the dates, but if you're doing that,
I can't help it. I get excited. I just like to talk and learn all the things, and my brain goes so fast.
Listener.
That's why what?
That's why you need an attentive listener.
Yes, because I want to feel heard.
Exactly. All right, this adds to the next one. Compliment sincerely. Just don't be flashy with it. Just compliment sincerely. Like, I like the way you're dressed, or you look beautiful tonight. Those are simple, sincere compliments about whatever they're saying, enjoying their conversation, all those things. These are just so self-evident, but they don't happen all the time. Just be respectful in the conversation on a date.
And to people around you. I know everybody says this, but I really, really do. I pay attention to how somebody treats servers, bartenders, valet attendants, wherever I'm at. If you are not kind and considerate to them, And if you're a shitty tipper, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's a big deal. I've been on dates where people sent back food, or they're like, golly, this place sucks.
That's a no for me. I'm not dealing with that at all.
There are moments where I'm like, hey, they're not doing that well. I wonder if they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
In my head, right? I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can say something, or like check in with them, because everybody's going through shit.
Yeah.
Our shit's not the most important thing. No one's is.
Right.
But that, yes, I agree 100%. Who do they? There was a test that I liked. So dating is kind of like interviewing for a job from both perspectives. It's two people hiring, right? Alternatively, on the opposite sides. There was a test for a business, and what he said, look, talk to them, but change locations. Take them to the grocery store. Tell them that you're cooking this dinner and you want them to pick out the ingredients. Then at the end, when you go outside, what did they do with the basket?
Oh.
And that stuck with me. And so this was years ago. And it stuck with me so much that I cannot leave the basket anywhere. I just won't. I will walk it back into the store in the middle of the rain.
Same with
if that's the cart basket.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay. That's weird.
Same thing. It just adds to that, watching how they react with other people. And because we were just talking about, me and Jess the other night, the little things you see that are little red flags will be big red flags.
Well, because they're on their best behavior typically that day.
Exactly.
So if those red flags are showing when they're supposed to be on their best behavior,
then
run.
Then they're bathed in it later, during an argument, during an uncomfortable situation or a conflict. They're just not going to respond in the way that they're going to respond, just like that, but worse.
I'd love to throw some things from a female's perspective at you, just to see what you guys say as guys. Couple things. Number one, starting off immediately calling you babe, hun, like immediately before you even meet, like that's weird to me.
That's weird. I never liked it personally, like if off an app or something. But if I met someone in the bar or a restaurant or anywhere, and they were like, "You're so sweet, honey," like that's not a big deal.
That's endearing.
Yeah.
But
or like, "Ooh, baby, you're hot," or something like that. That's not a problem. It's cutesy, but not.
I'm talking coming on too strong, like, I would do anything for you, babe, or how's it going, babe, or good morning, babe. Or,
yeah,
that's like, you don't even know somebody yet, and you're doing that right away. I think that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, for instance, me and Jessica obviously have been friends for quite a while. When we text each other, when we say hey to each other, it's like, hey, love. But it's an endearing thing. It's not like a babe or, I say babe to one person. It's my girlfriend. I don't call anybody else babe or darling, or I may hug somebody and go, oh, hi, sweetheart. It's been a long time since I've seen you, or how are you doing? It makes something like that. But I'm not babing anybody that I'm courting immediately.
No. That's I'm just talking like when, let's say, and I'm not like, let's say you meet somebody on a dating app or you just start talking to somebody and all of the communication, texting or otherwise, is just over the top immediately before there's even been a chance to meet, and they're using those terms. I think that's a red flag.
Definitely.
I think that's like that's
possessive.
Possessive, maybe even like what am I trying? Like, I want to say breadcrumbing, and that's not what I'm trying to say, but just what do they call it? Love bombing. Love bombing. I feel like and that's just like, you don't know me, you don't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much. Coming on too
strong,
soon,
too fast.
Too strong, too fast.
Is it worse for a guy or a female to do that? I think it's worse for a guy. I think it's
worse for a guy, for sure.
Because like you just said, how you called Jess love, I will call people and I try to be mindful because I'll say, hey love, or hey doll, or I do those endearing terms too. I don't do it with strangers. I try not to. But if somebody even comments something on my business profile and they say something, I'm like, oh, thank you, doll. I'm just that's being nice. But so I guess it kind of goes both ways, and maybe I have to be more mindful as well. But I definitely wouldn't be jumping on to somebody calling them pet names.
Yes. Jess says she uses "hey doll" because she can't remember their name. So there's an element of that. So if you hear a girl say that to you, it's probably because she doesn't remember your name.
You just busted
And
us.
when I call a buddy or a girl, "hey beautiful," or like a guy, "hey man," "hey buddy," You,
Big Daddy.
I forgot your damn name.
You're
Let's be
totally
real. I forgot your name, and I'm not here to remember it.
You're totally right.
You didn't make that big of an impression.
Yeah.
My bad, or your bad.
The other thing I would say is, and I know you guys are this might be controversial, but I, again, remind you, I'm a secure person. I'm not necessarily talking about myself. Girls talk. We talk about all the things, right? When a guy is on a date with you and he, number one, this goes to, keep your phone down, put it away.
Yeah.
And then also, you can't keep your eyes off other women walking by. I think that's a red flag.
Yes. Guys, you got to get good at it.
So be manipulative. That makes
No. If you're like me, you're noticing your surroundings. Just don't. I'm doing it for protection reasons. No, women have a better. Women can do it better. So don't say you don't do it. Number one.
Well, I am
Even if you're on a
retired law
date.
enforcement, so I really do. But
So you're telling me never on a date where you sitting across from a guy, and another guy walks by, and you didn't look, and in your mind say, "Oh, he's cute.
I guess I can't.
He got nice arms."
Can't answer that.
Why not?
Because typically the people I date have nice arms. No, I'm just kidding. We know though, like, because if we see a cute girl, we know she's cute.
Yeah.
So we're waiting.
Yeah.
For you, and all the things that you guys do, like all the different little mannerisms and ways, we know it, and we're waiting for it, and we're watching it, and we may not say something, but we're like mental check.
This is the thing, though. I agree with you, but to try and say not to look.
I'm not saying always. I'm saying if you're on a first, second, you're like at first. I'm not saying that all of a sudden you should switch, but I think it's a level of respect to have your focus and attention on that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it would.
No, I agree.
Momentarily acknowledge without fixating on it, and I think that
exactly.
Or double take, triple take. Yeah.
No, you can just, if someone's walking by, you can just acknowledge that they're walking by.
Yes.
Without turning your head.
Yeah, I don't think a guy's got, like, let's say you're an attractive man walking by. I don't have to be like.
If I were.
And zoning.
You know what? But there's been times where, and again, listen, I've told y'all before, I'll vote for the gays. I'll march with the gays. I'll write letters with the gays. I'm just not one of them. However, there's been times where I've been with Marie, and if a good looking guy walks by, he's a good looking guy. It doesn't matter if you're gay or not. He's good. And there's been times where a good looking guy walks by and I go, man, that's a sharp looking fella. Or okay, Bryce, you know Bryce.
Oh yeah, mean buddy.
Bryce is somebody who sings with us, right? And he's like 26 years old. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's got good hair. He's got big old muscles, and he plays the guitar. He sings.
I don't know about his muscles. I'm not sure about that.
If you pull his shirt off, you'd be surprised what you see. If
Bryce is listening, I'm pretty sure my arms are bigger than his.
Listen, I don't know.
Pretty sure.
But I will say that.
I have to send this to Bryce.
Every time especially me and Isaiah, my other friend Isaiah, we would always say, man, Bryce is a stud. I've said it from the microphone before. Like I think acknowledging it, whether you're male or female, is not the issue. I really think that if you're disrespectfully fixated upon that individual, that's
definitely.
So I probably didn't word that the way I wanted to, because of course you're going to notice somebody walking by. It's how do you linger? Are you turning your head? Are you making it obvious to where it's a disrespectful act?
Never do that.
But people do.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
I mean, I'll go in a restaurant and I'll see a guy on a date. Could be his wife. I don't know that, but he's with obviously another woman, and I will see him do this. And then I just want to back. I'm just like, that's so rude to your person.
I think if you get to it, once you're in a relationship that is both parties super confident, and you're secure. I mean, Jess will say, wow, she's really pretty. Yeah. She's got great boobs. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're really good. It's okay to acknowledge the qualities. It's the fixation.
I've done it before. I've been like, oh my goodness, look at her. She's stunning. Or she's got this great attribute or this great. That's different. I'm talking when you're just starting and you're dating and there's not that mutual respect and that level of commitment and loyalty already there. I just think it's a little disrespectful.
I agree. Don't do's. This adds, don't do's, then it's on the list. Don't dominate the conversation. Don't be overly aggressive. Don't talk about your exes on the first date unless asked. Let's be real. Yeah. And then just be open to what the question was. That's fine. Don't be disrespectful. Do not make assumptions. a big one.
Like, what kind of assumptions would you be making?
Someone's background, their history, your assumptions of them based off of like maybe the way they look and you're on a date with them, or what they say. They may say something like, "Oh, I never went to college." Then your assumption is they're not that smart.
I would assume those conversations might have been had before you go on the date.
You never know.
Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, this scenario is like you could met them in the bar, not know much about them,
Okay.
and just ask them out. Say, "I'll meet you next week."
Mhm.
Got your number. Maybe you've texted her tomorrow night. That happens. It's really quick. Don't overshare.
I'm a dominator and an oversharer. Those are my red flags.
Oversharing. That's a big one.
Okay.
I definitely. I think it depends. I think it depends on the person, because me and Jess, we went on one date. I left for 21 days, and we definitely overshared on the 21 days gone, because all we could do is talk on the phone for about an hour or two at night.
That's different.
That was a lot of sharing. I mean, I'm talking everything about our lives.
But you're trying
They
to
also
make
have a lot of shit going on too.
We did, but a lot of sharing, which I think if both parties are reciprocating in that, then that's fine. I think it's a dance. So you figure out how much they're giving, and then you can give equal, or vice versa. This is the debate. This is the thing. Have you ever heard this theory? Okay. So just like negative and positive energies, you have empathetic person and a selfish person. Selfless, we'll go selfless. Selfless person and a selfish person. A selfless person, we call it a positive. A negative person is a negative. You add a positive and a negative together, you're going to be able to be you convert energy. You can survive on that. You can your lights light up. You can sustain it because it's not opposing. That the selfless person will consume the selfish person's shit because they're selfless. Two selfless people will make it, and that is probably the best relationship out there. Two selfless people, because now you're basically competing, and not really competing, but in the scheme of it, in who can love the other one more.
Yeah.
And you're caring and you're understanding, and a lot of elements of two positives. You get two selfish people, two negatives, don't make it right.
Yeah.
It does not. This is the clash of the titans. I think you're attracted to that person because they are maybe mysterious, or they're very like strong-willed, and which is fine. I think you can have strong will on the other side, because I'm selfless, but I'm strong-willed. I will bend over backwards for my person or other people in general. But I think a lot of people live in that shadow where you have a selfless person tends to be consuming and taking on the load of all the negativity, or just not getting what they want out of life fully, because they're just whatever they want and they're okay with that. And it's over and over. And you can stay in that indefinitely, but that's a tough life. On the man side, it's called living a life of quiet desperation. And on the woman side, I don't know what it's called. What do you think, Heather?
Hell.
Oppression.
The patriarchy. Now, they have a list for girls.
Okay.
That was the men.
Oh, that was just men?
That was just men.
So this is girls.
This is the women
Like, wait.
on their first couple of dates.
Okay.
Do's and don'ts.
Be open-minded.
I'm going to give you guys this is going to mean that I am guilty. Okay.
Be open-minded. Express appreciation. Engage in conversation. Ooh, this is interesting. ChatGPT, you equal right, motherfucker. Offer to split the bill.
I don't do that. And I don't do that. Not on the first date. I'm just being serious. I don't.
What if a guy did that? What if he said, "Hey,
do you know
do
what?
you mind splitting this with me?"
Oh, well, let me tell you a story about a girlfriend of mine. And then I will, of course I will, but I'll tell you a girlfriend of mine. She is powerful. She is stunning. She's beautiful. Her name is Shalia, and she lives in Florida. And she knows what she wants. She's put in the work. She's healed. She's successful. So she's got her own money and everything. So let me just be clear.
And she found a guy.
And she's beautiful. Yes. But I think, yes.
Great.
But she went out with a guy, and I don't want to mess this up, but he asked her, he was sat there and it was kind of awkward silence, right? And he asked her if she could split the bill. And she replied to him, she's like, "Why would I?" or something like, why would I? No, she wasn't rude though. Hold on. How did she word that? It was something similar to, if you need me to, I could, but why would you want me to? That's what she said. Why would you want me to? Which, yeah, I think on a first date,
I would say I stopped going on a lot of dates because it did get damn expensive.
choose where you're
For
going. I'm
useless.
okay with the first date being a coffee shop.
Yes.
We don't have to go to Mastro's. So that's on the
100%.
guy for where you're choosing. But if you're asking
100%.
me out on a date, then you should court me. I mean, what happened to that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, we're well, that's the perverse feminist movement, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna let Brandon speak on this. What do you
Well,
think of that? Do they want their cake and eat it too? And
I
if
do
so, is that a negative?
kind of. I do think it's a double standard to a certain degree because you can't have like these down home principles in certain things as it pertains to how you want a man to deal with you, but then not want to assume other roles or be in other situations to where it would
Mhm.
require you to do the same. So for instance, I know a lot of girls like bad bitch energy. Yeah, I'm bad bitch and man need to do this for me. Well, my grandpa did all of these things for my grandmother, but in return, my grandmother also operated in a certain way. Like there was this mutual, not even expectation, mutual respect for the two that says, if you want me to handle myself like this, then this is what handling myself like this is going to garner from you. This is the response that I get. I can't stand a woman that wants me to do all of these down home, old fashioned type things, but they don't want to reciprocate it in any way or think that it's like it's too old fashioned for them or that again they're bad bitch and that they shouldn't have to. I know some girls who feel like they shouldn't have to do anything as it pertains to treating a man nice, whether it's complimenting him, whether it's, I don't know, washing the damn dishes or whatever it may be. Like there's this mentality that men, and don't get me wrong, I think Joel shares the same sentiments. I think that there are certain things in the hierarchy of the relationship that men are supposed to do. I do think that whether Marie works or not, I still got to fucking work. Like the shit still got to get paid. I've always given her the opportunity to say, okay, well, if you want to work, you can go work. But if you don't want to work, I'm still going to take care of everything. As in return, Marie does a lot of things for me as a woman that I think number one, she does it out the kindness of her heart. But I think number two, she does it because she sees the role that I assume
Yeah.
within our relationship. And so I think there should be an expectation from a woman that a man should take care of these things, but I think that river has to flow both ways. Otherwise, you
agree.
just find yourself in a
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
situation.
I don't sit there and just be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I am a very nurturing by nature and very caring person. So if a guy pays, I'm going to tell him thank you right there. I'm going to send him a follow-up text and say thank you. Like, I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
If we go out to grab coffee, I'll probably just grab something. I don't expect it all the time, right? But I do think that when you're trying to court somebody, you should do that. But also, like, for instance, I'm not trying to date this person by any means, but I have a neighbor and he told me today, he's like, I've got the flu. I'm like, do you need anything? You know what I mean? I brought him over cold meds, but I don't expect anything for that. I know I'm getting off a little bit, but I'm just trying to show like,
No, yeah.
I'm caring. I'm going to like, it's just, that's natural. It's not tit for tat. It's not, well, if I do this, I'm going to expect you to do this. It's just doing something out of the kindness of your heart and because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we kind of talked about this. You're setting little precedents with little red flags, which will lead to the bigger overarching theme. So to Brandon's point, which I agree with, so if we're looking at it at a relationship, let's look at it like a block in the front and it's a pie graph. Men have a much higher threshold in the beginning
Mhm.
of showing courting responsibility to facilitate their desire and want of someone through action. And with that, a man should be able to see on the very first date a highlight of the later.
Yeah.
Because it does this. it teeters down and women pick up.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of things that a good relationship will have where it's like you can see it all in the first couple of dates. And those are the things like you know, uh, going to the bathroom and she does something where it's like, "Oh, I ordered the appetizer because I know you mentioned you like this," or "I got this coming," or "I already ordered you another drink because because
Mhm.
yours was low and it's already coming."
Yeah.
Kind of those little thinking ahead things. And in most relationships, I know for me, it's the little things that are like, "Hey, love, I've already set up your doctor's appointment." Just reminding you, like those little things, especially in a marriage, caring about someone's health on this side more than not more than they do, but more than just a buddy.
Yeah.
Like if I'm setting my doctor, I'll tell you, my last relationship, which was 10 years, if I said, "Hey, I got a doctor's appointment set up," and then not even ask me how the doctor's appointment went.
Yeah.
Jess, she's like, "Hey, you need to set this doctor's appointment, but remember that. Just a reminder, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but like just remind you." And then immediately, I'm talking minutes after the appointment, text, "How was your appointment?
Mhm.
Was it good? How did this go?" There's just a level of caring
Yeah.
that you get from women that's the shift, right? It's like big time respect and showing that, "Hey, I'm a protector and I will protect you and I will be there for you when you and everything you need, secure home, finances," which shows if you're all right.
That's what I
I'm
mean.
gonna take this.
Yeah.
This is it's a little. The first couple of dates are a snapshot of the entire relationship. Don't go on a date with a girl if you can't afford to fucking buy the dinner,
We want to know
because
that you
then
protect.
you're not truly in a financial situation to take them to that level. So don't try to pretend to be at a level where you're going to spend $200 at a restaurant. Set your budget, and if she can't handle that,
Girl.
then she's not the right girl for you. If you
Which is
can't
her
afford a
right.
$100 dinner, don't go buy a $100 dinner and be pissed because she doesn't want to go out with you again. You feel like you waste money. You
Yeah.
set yourself up for it.
Good point.
Yeah, that's her right to feel that way too. It's her
And
right to say whether or not she wants
Exactly.
on that level. And if you lead with dishonesty like that, then you're not
You're
giving
going to
her
let her down later.
Yeah,
well,
100%.
that's exactly what I was
You're
talking
going to
about
let her down.
when we were talking about why, me thinking that a man should pay. Well,
Yeah.
don't choose that restaurant if that's not what you want to do. But I think for us too, well, I'll speak for myself. I feel like I want masculine. I want to know that somebody can take care and provide for me. That does not mean I can't pay my own bills and I'm not going to contribute to bills. That means if shit hits the fan, like let's say somebody gets ill or something, you know what I mean? You're going to be able to step up. So I know it sounds minuscule, but you choosing the restaurant, you making the plan, you taking control, you taking care of that bill, that shows me that you are confident, that you are capable, that you are going to take control of things if something goes to shit. That maybe that's a little extra or a big assumption on my end, but it just shows that you're putting your foot forward to take some of the burden off of me, to make me feel cared for, protected, and taken
Yeah.
care of. And so that's what's going to get me interested in, okay, now let's get down to it. And then what can I do to show my appreciation for the fact that he just planned the date. He chose the place. He paid for the date. Maybe he picked me up. Like, I'm not just going to be like, okay, and turn around and, I'm going to,
Yeah.
some way or another, I'm going to make sure he understands that was noticed and
Right.
appreciated.
And the thing is, and what you hit on, Brandon, the traditional values. I've been on dates, didn't know this until I got on the date, that person didn't line up with my traditional, not that I'm traditional, but in the sense of like, oh, they didn't appreciate this.
Mm-mm.
They didn't, then it was a mute point there. I'm not going to go back out with you because my love language is servitude.
Yeah.
And if you think I'm just being, if you think I'm looking at you and I'm doing these things or feeling like, oh, I need to do these things for them, my person, because I love them and care for them. But if you're taking it as I can do this myself, then we're just not on the same.
Yeah.
We're not even on the same planet, and we don't line up because I'm not looking at you in any way other than if if I do these things for you, then I'm in. You're my person. Like, you're my best friend. You're my partner. You're my lover. All the things. And so it really is. First 6 months is a snapshot of your life because you're showing the representative of yourself. You're not even showing the true self for the first 6 months. You're showing the representative. So if the representative comes out like the press conference, press secretary, and has to defend the real you, and you see like, why are they lying about this? Or that's weird. That's not even a big deal.
Yeah.
Then wait for the big deal. And you're going to really see. And that's what people do. They get sucked in to the 6-month whirlwind. And then they're like, well, I'm in it now. And when the highs are highs and the lows are really low, they get put on the roller coaster. And when they get on that roller coaster, it's hard to get off. It really is. All of these things, I agree with them all. Don't do for women.
Okay. This is where I'll entertain you guys.
Don't play games.
No.
Don't play games.
No games.
Well, I've had some women play some games, boy. Woo.
I'm too old for games.
Don't monopolize on the conversation.
Guilty.
Don't talk about your past relationships. Don't overanalyze. Same thing. Don't overly criticize.
I would never criticize somebody especially on the first date.
Or second date. And this was the first one on the man's, but don't be late or cancel last minute. That's a big one too.
Looks like I'd be a pretty good date.
Yeah, I've had some. I think too. What do you guys think about? I tell this to Marie all the time. In my past relationship, I always refer to her as she who shall not be named. Any of them, just not to bring up the name.
That.
Yeah, or I would say not to speak ill of the dead. I'm just joking. I don't wish they were dead. I'm like not to speak of the dead or whatever.
The relationship's dead.
Yeah. But in the last relationship that I was in before Marie, one thing that we always got into it about was the fact that she always said that you don't do the things that I need you to do on a consistent basis or what she would say without me mentioning it. And then whenever I would correct, she would get mad. She's like, well, you're only doing it because I said to do it. And that's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
yeah,
she would always say, you're not doing the things that show me that you love me. And I would always have to correct her and say, no. I'm learning how you receive the love that you want, but you can't negate the things that I do naturally every single day to show you that I love you. For instance, I'm same thing with Joel. I serve. I love to give gifts. It's just something that just comes out of me. I don't have to think about it. It's just something that I want to do. I enjoy giving to people and helping them and all of those things. I would come home with something and, then a week later in an argument, I don't need you to buy me things. I need you to say, well, I was like, okay, no. You can't dismiss what I do naturally while I'm learning to do the things that you receive, in a service. I know that you want physical touch, or I know that you want words of affirmation. Sure, let me work on that while you acknowledge the fact that I'm doing these things naturally. And that was a big deal for us because I would feel so defeated because she would always say, you don't do anything to show me that you love me. And I'm like, I'm doing all of this shit to show you that I love you. But I understand that you have a way that you prefer to receive it. And I just met you. So I'm learning how to do those things. Just don't dismiss what I'm doing naturally for you, which is to give. Because when you say, well, I don't need that, well, you're just shitting on everything that I'm doing to show you that I care about you and I love you. And so I think people even get that wrong when they start talking about love languages. Like, yes, learn how that person wants to be loved, but also be a person that acknowledges how they naturally or by default show that they care for you at the same time.
Yeah, I agree.
That was so well said. If that's how you would actually speak to her when she would bring those things up, I couldn't even dream of or ask for a better way to be spoken to about that. Like, it was calm, it was to the point, it was accurate. Like, you are a very effective communicator.
Well, it leads back to Brandon has stepped out of his ego.
He's like, yes, I did it. No, I would be like, I am so sorry. Let me give you a back rub. I can't believe I made you feel that way. because the way you worded that was non-confrontational. It was to the point. It was acknowledging, it was hearing, it was validating, but it was also standing up for yourself. Like, how attractive is that?
Well, and I mean it too, because she doesn't know where I come from. I don't come from a household where we hugged each other all the time
Yeah.
or said I love you all the time. And so that just did not come naturally to me. It's not that I didn't want to do it, but I'm so consumed in showing you how I love you the way that I love you. Sometimes you will have to stop me and say, "Hey, I really appreciate all of these things," which is what Marie does. She says, "Well, can you do some of this a little bit more and it would just make me
Yeah.
feel better?" Okay, fuck, I can do that. That's super simple because you're acknowledging, yes, you do A, B, C. Can you do some of E and F? By for sure, fuck, I can do that. Absolutely, I can do that for you.
Yes.
I love
I
that.
think it's both sides. Like, you can't have someone who's just saying what you don't do. It's like any situation with a manager or an employee, always lead with positives to bring in a change that needs to happen. Always lead with the positive first. And then you lean into, well, this is, what I'm missing. Do you think we can, add these things in? I'm not, trying to tell you what to do, but this is how I feel loved.
Let me ask you guys a question. What is the most important thing to you in relationship? So, for instance, I won't get into my explanation. Communication, effective communication. If I wish that was a love language, like that does it for me. I used to think that I needed more intimacy. I need to be able to communicate with my person effectively without worrying that I have to, beat around the bush or walk on eggshells or somebody's going to get defensive, right? Like, so that's number one for me. Like, what is it for you guys?
I mean, words of affirmation are
Okay.
the word side. So I think communication falls into that. I would say, I thought about that today. I was doing the laundry and just cleaning up the house and things. And I'm sitting here spraying down Jess's scrubs so they don't have wrinkles in them. And what I was thinking about, I was like, wow, she, like, not that I wanted the acknowledgement, but I'm like, she's going to be happy and she's going to tell me, like, subconsciously, like little things in my head, so that acknowledgement of the love that we give is so important to receive, and not just, oh, this is normal. Expecting it. And we never expect. So no matter how minuscule it is, if she does the dishes, I'm like, thank you for doing the dishes. It's that those words of affirmation of every day.
I would call that words of appreciation.
Yeah. Well, I guess it falls under the affirmation title for the love languages, that you are being expressed through words, gratitude and love and support.
Yeah.
That's very important. But it's also like her action is a servitude action. My actions are servitude. And we follow it back up with words of affirmation about the servitude. They're all intertwined. I think everyone should end on the words of affirmation side of things. If it's physical, if physical touch is yours and that person gives you physical touch, give them back physical touch and words of affirmation, letting them know through a verbal communication that you love that. I love it when you touch me this way. I love it when you say this. I love it when, when you're like playing with my hair, that like, I just feel so loved, or whatever the situation is. I think the looping it around back to the words is in communication is so important.
Yeah, I would probably say it's probably that appreciation, words of affirmation. No, so for instance, one thing I've always told Marie is that what we do in our relationship is what we do in our relationship. Like, our relationship doesn't have to be patterned after anybody else's opinions or thoughts or anything like that. And I think Joel's kind of the same way, in the sense, like, I wake up every morning. I wake up earlier than everybody in the house. It's me, Marie, my brother, and my crazy ass dog. I wake up first before anybody. And when I'm up, I'm up. Like, there's no let me sit here for a little bit longer. Like, I got to get the fuck up and do something. And so I know the dog has to get taken care of. So the first thing I do, I take the dog out. I let him go pee. I feed the dog. I start the process of cleaning the stuff downstairs that may not have gotten taken care of the night before, whether it's the dishes, whether it's fixing the sofa, or vacuuming, or whatever it may be. Because number one, I know she wakes up after I do. So I want her to wake up to peace. and serenity and not chaos, and something that's structured. I take care of the dog because I don't want the first thing that she has to do when she first wakes up. What woman wants to be full with fur and all that shit the first moment that they wake up? So I take care of that. And some people would look at that and say, well, does she do anything? That she does so many things for me. She's always constantly reminding me how much she loves me, or how handsome she thinks I am, or how grateful she is for this or for that or whatnot. But I want to do those things for her. They make me happy to do those things for her. And all I need is little breadcrumbs of appreciation here or there. Now, I will say a problem that I had in the past was because I feel like I don't require that much maintenance from my person. There have been times where I also, when I was younger, felt like, since I don't require this much, you shouldn't require this much either. And that's totally wrong. I am okay with the fact that she requires so much more than what I require. And that's not her being selfish. That's me just acknowledging the fact that this is what she wants. This is what she desires. But I think that establishing the fact that our relationship does not have to look like, she was so crazy about the fact that she hadn't worked for the last a year and a half since we've been together, because she wanted to finish school. And I told her, you don't have to work. Let's just get through school. Let's do all of that. And that's what she did all day long. And she would feel self-conscious about it. It's like, well, people are at work, or other girls are cooking meals for their man and this and that. And it's like, I don't care. Our relationship's not predicated upon what anybody else is fucking doing. This is the agreement. We don't even have to verbally make it. This is the agreement our hearts, our souls have made with each other. And it's just okay that we do that. And all I need, like Joel says, all I need is just a little acknowledgement every now and then that, hey, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I acknowledge what you're doing, and it's cool. Because
Well,
I've been in situations where girls did not acknowledge what I did, and because I don't keep a list, but I promise you, when you feel like you're underappreciated, you start building a fucking list of shit
yeah.
that it's like, well, I do this, I do this, I do this, which lets me know I shouldn't even be with that person if I start counting the shit that I'm doing anyway. So
Right.
I just think it's important just to be okay with the roles that each one of you play, and be okay with the fact that it doesn't have to look like what anybody else thinks it has to look like.
We have to look back. When you just said that, Brandon, I want to get down here. I want to do this. I want to do that, and let her wake up in a peaceful Zen place. It's out of love. But what I heard there is early humans, hunter gatherers, living on the land. There were a lot of the similarities. That's why I think the role of a man is that I wanna go out and I'm gonna start the fire, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get prepped for the hunt. This is like this is built into us as human beings. We're not far removed from it. So our brains have not changed in over 200,000 years. So we still have the brain of the early humans, Homo sapiens, where we're just converting the things that they did back then, and even in our later history, farmers working the land, hunter gatherers, we're converting it to other things because we still feel like we need to put that animalistic brain to work within the boundaries. Brandon, I do the same thing. I think most men do. When you're in a relationship and you're living with the person, there is a difference in how you act in the morning and how you get your day going and what you do. And I really think it ties back to that. I have other human beings to take care of. You're in this little tribe, you're in a community, and I think it switches on, but you're not going to go out and milk the cow because you don't have it. But you're going to take the dog out. You're going to pick up the living room because you're not out in the woods, and you're not going to have to go make the campfire. You might put the kettle on. You might make tea. So I think we're just shifting that to another thing, another element. Vacuuming is like mowing the lawn. It's the same things. We're just transferring that energy into something that's in the home. And men that don't do that, I'd love to see a poll or stats on how many men do that until they hit a wall after so many years of not being reciprocating in what they're needing for their own minds. in their own souls as I just want you to care for me. Women, I feel that personally. I wanted someone to care about my health, my well-being, my mental status. Doing what you said, the little things. I mean, I came out of a marriage that I can count probably on one hand, two hands, the amount of times that she's called me sexy or, oh, you look so good or handsome. It was always like, oh, you're wearing that shirt again? Or, oh, you need to go shopping. I don't like your clothes. Like, why are you, like, you're just breaking me down. You're not building me up. Oh, don't use the restroom in our restroom. Go use the half bath. You stink. Like, literally, this is what I lived with. But as a man, I took it upon myself and just internalized it because I can take it, I can take it, I can take it. And I just piled it in, piled it in, piled it in. And it's so right. We men don't need much. We need appreciation. We need to know you got our back and you're there for us. But 9 times out of 10, we'll do pretty much anything for you and anything.
On autopilot, like without even thinking.
Like every morning, every day I ask Jess, is there anything I can do for you today? And that, to me, that goes back to the animalistic brain, like, or the early human brains. Is there anything you want me to kill today? A squirrel? You want a deer? What do you want me to bring back to hold up in front of you and be like victorious? And you give me you did so good. Look at that kill. Wow. You're such a man. Boost my ego. It's very simple with men. Very simple.
Much.
Doesn't take much at all.
For a man,
love on me. Yeah.
Yeah, for a man that's not selfish, like you said. There's some selfish ass men out there on the planet.
Exactly.
For sure. And I'm not saying I've done everything perfect or whatnot, but I do believe this, that the Bible says that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And I believe the more that we as men realize that it is, I'm not trying to be fuzzy for like a podcast. Like I think as men realize the fact that this is somebody's daughter. This is, somebody's sister. This is going to be maybe the mother of my kids. Like this is a treasure. This is my girl, for better or for worse. Even fucking Ferraris that make you mad doesn't mean you hate the damn Ferrari. It's a good ass fucking car, right? But I mean, like you're going to do all the things that you need to do in order for that person to thrive. And I just believe as a man that you should create an environment for your woman and your family to thrive in whatever it is that you need to be stable. It doesn't matter if she has a breakdown and doesn't work for 6 months because she feels like she doesn't have the strength to work for 6 months. Well, sure. Fuck, I'm the man. I will get this taken care of. I will make sure that I always foster an environment to where you always feel like you have the opportunity to level up and be a better version of yourself every single day. I think that's my job as a man. And if I don't foster that type of environment, I think I'm doing everyone around me a disservice.
I want to ask you something, Heather. What do you think, in your opinion, men do? Let's go back to the dating. Like, let's just, I guess, set a scenario. Dating someone, or not even just meeting someone for the first time in a restaurant or a bar environment where it's much easier to, like, those are kind of the crossroads, right? Of like, I could run into someone, I could see someone. Don'ts. And when I say don'ts, I guess I'm looking for what would make a guy stand out to you before he even talks to you? What shouldn't he do in the environment that would make you be like,
I want to make sure I understand. So let's say I'm at a bar, happy hour, and there's an attractive guy that I recognize. Like, what should he do, like, in order to talk?
Or not do to make you interested in him even talking to you? I got a list because I went through the kind of the training aspect, and I can label them out, and you tell me if it's a positive or negative. Then
you label them out.
Okay, first off, men. This is tip for men. Okay, when you walk into an environment, and let's say you're a solo, you're by yourself, do not. It's called anchor yourself. Do not walk around the bar and attempt to talk to every woman in the bar. Number one, you lower your status, because if you're not talking to one woman and you move to the next one, a girl that you potentially might want to talk to she's witnessing this. She sees it.
Right.
And she sees that you get rejected and you're moving to the next one. Then your status as a human being or a man in that environment is not being wanted.
Right.
Because you're not sitting still.
Nobody
Why are
wants
you
what it,
moving around? You're on
I've
the
never
search.
seen anybody do that because that would to me would be that would think somebody in their 20s, somebody young that's just out there trying to see what flavor they're going to get that night. So that would not even. I want somebody to act with intention.
No, I'm saying that would be a negative, right?
That would be a negative.
You would, if you saw that, you'd be like,
Yeah,
if you come and talk to me, I'm not interested.
No,
So
I would
that's
immediately
not a
think you're just looking to get laid, and I'm not
exactly.
interested.
So men don't. This is just. I want to give some helpful tips,
Yeah.
like true factual things. Do not walk around, anchor yourself in a position, and stand with confidence. Order your drink. Try to make friends. First, make friends with guys. Do not try to make friends with a bunch of girls if you are there to meet a girl. Right? Make friends with a couple of guys around you. It's so much easier to do that because then it looks like you're in a group, even though you may be rolling solo. You go to a city, your own business or whatever, connect with a group of guys that seem pretty cool, up to your level, introduce yourself, make jokes, you're new in town, whatever, make it look like you're part of a group.
Yeah, but I don't think that's necessary. I would even be okay if there's a guy just solo. You know what I mean? But it's just just act with confidence. Like, if you see me, we make eye contact, do something to like, I don't know if it's I haven't been in this situation in a minute, but if it's just like, oh, you rolling your eyes over there.
oh no, I was just laughing. Like I haven't been in this situation in a minute, but
No, I haven't. But like, I guess for me, it's all about confidence. So I'm just hypothetical. A guy's at the bar. I think he's attractive. We notice each other. There's like a minute or a second, like just pick your drink up and come over and talk to me. But it's what you say. If it's, you know what I mean? It's got to be with intent and not cheesy. And girls can see through if it's not genuine. We can see your intent most of the time, I would like to think. So if you're coming over, if it's like creepy or if it's an ick, that's bad. But if you just be honest and be like authentic and say what it is.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Guys, don't overcomplicate it.
I hope that most women would be kind if they're not interested, to be gentle, and understand that it takes a lot of confidence and courage these days for a man to approach a woman anyways. So if you don't find them attractive, you don't have to say something to make them know that that's why you're turning them down. You know what I mean?
The better move that I perceive to be the best move is to be completely honest up front. You see someone you want to talk to? Do that. Smile. Maybe even do a cheers. So there's an acknowledgement that we are connecting in this moment. You look at me for 3 seconds. I look at you. We know. Walk over. If you look at someone for 3 seconds and they don't move their head, especially from a woman's perspective, then that gives you the cue to walk over and say hi. When you walk over, say, hey, I just wanted to come over and say hi. My name is what? And then go into it. What's your name? It's much easier just to be completely upfront. I had to come say hi.
Yep.
I thought you're absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
Tell me about yourself. It's easier to do. I've only got a second, but
I love it, Joe. I'm cackling because I love when Joe starts talking this shit. It's so real. It's like, for instance, I think you should handle a girl the same way that you would handle. I was in Walmart one day and I saw this lady. She had like 5 kids with her. I swear to God, none of them could have been over the age of 4. 5 of them she was handling by herself. She was at the self checkout and she's doing all this stuff. And I was just minding my own business, but I noticed it. And so I was like, let me say something. So I walked up to her and said, hey, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I hope this doesn't sound weird. I'm not trying to intrude on you. I just wanted to let you know that if no one has told you lately, you're doing a really good job. And she just broke down crying. I say that that's the same way I would approach a woman. Like there's been times where I'd see a girl at the bar and I'd go, hey, I don't know if you're aware, you have on some really nice shoes. I don't know anything about shoes. I'm a man, but in my opinion, those are some really nice shoes. And it just kind of, you're complimenting them without making them feel like you're about to like jump their bone. Like you're just acknowledging, I don't know if you're aware, but man, your hair is really cool. I'm not talking about how it is or how hot it is, whatever. I'm just acknowledging
exactly. Yeah, pick an item, pick a quality of that person that you've noticed that isn't in a sexual manner and compliment that. It's easy. It's so easy. Yeah, I really like those glasses. I love the retro look, the throwback. I love it. That's
Thanks,
easy. But Brandon, I'll tap on to what you just said. You walked up in the grocery store and she doesn't know you were coming behind her or whatever. You did say, hey, I'm sorry. Men, do not apologize for walking up to a woman.
Oh,
If you
absolutely.
start a conversation with, I'm sorry, you're setting a precedent that you are not worthy to be in that moment. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Well, now that person hears, I'm sorry. So you feel like if you say you're sorry, subconsciously, there's a part of that other person be like, why then you did interrupt. If you're sorry and you know it, why did you do it then?
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but the small things matter in that first interaction.
I
If
agree.
you want to open up a conversation with someone, be confident. You're not saying you're sorry if you're confident. It's just not. They don't go hand in hand.
Especially if you're about to compliment somebody and do
Yeah,
something nice. I'm not sorry about that.
yeah.
Absolutely. I
There's a
agree.
difference between, hey, I don't want to interrupt, but I got to.
Yeah.
But I have to.
Yeah.
I've been
Your
there
friend,
myself.
two girls talking. Hey, I don't want to interrupt, but I got to
Too
in
bad,
this
'cause
moment.
I'm going to.
Okay, because I only got a second. I got to
Oh
get
my
back
God.
to my friends.
I'm always in a rush. Always in a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. It's such unconscious little thing that they really do make a bigger, uh, I guess, visual of a man. Because subconsciously, women are the same way as men. Men go back to their early human traits. We talked about a man wanting to do things around the house in replace of things that we don't do now. Women, what is it that women look for? So men look for numbers and procreation. Men don't care about how much money you make. They look at the physical. They look at, oh man, she's beautiful, great hips, great butts, boobs. This is early human. They can procreate. Women look at it slightly different. Status. Can he protect me?
Yep.
Will he take care of me?
Yep.
And what kind of hut am I going to live in? Is it going to be a nice hut? Because I like a fire in the middle of the hut. Maybe like, a little spa in the back. Like it's not a bad thing, but it's reality to status.
So a couple of my girlfriends are, they're single and they're dating and they're on sites and they'll send pictures like, what do you think of this? What we do, it's going to sound tacky. And I brought it up to my friends before. I'm like, we can't really make assumptions, like you said, because we don't know if they were at grandma's house or if they were at a friend's house when they took this photo. But women look at the background in the photo. We want to know, are you clean? Do you make your bed? That's not necessary. I'm just, making a point here. What does it look like? Do you have dirty carpet? What kind of ceilings do you have? Like we're looking at all of the things to try to gather your living situation is like. And I know that might sound horrible, but it doesn't mean you have to live in a mansion or you have to live in a brand new house, but we will look at
No,
the
that's a
things
great
in the
point.
background.
Great point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you throw your towels if you're taking a picture in the bathroom? Are there towels on the floor? Is there pill bottles all over the counter? Because guess what? We're going to zoom in and see what kind of medication you need to be taking because we're not signing up for that.
first off, why are you taking a picture in the bathroom?
Well,
Guys don't
because
do that.
people do. I've seen plenty
I
of
took one
Girls.
bathroom the other day.
I've done it before. I ain't gonna lie, but it is something
It was
you don't want to post
Instagram.
to a
It wasn't.
dating app. No,
Yeah,
no,
what-
no. You don't want to post it to a dating app.
Yeah, we get
Don't worry
pictures.
about it.
I mean, we girls share. We are the TMI queens. We
Yeah.
will share everything. What do you think of this guy? They send it over. We zoom right in. We look at everything.
Do you have an ear for negs, negative positives?
The way somebody speaks.
Yeah. So if a guy does what's called a neg,
Okay, I've never heard that term, but
okay. So I'll give you an example. A neg is something where he compliments you, but then he brings it back down to earth and normalizes you. I'll give you an example.
give me an example.
Love your tattoos. Looks so pretty. I love when I see a lot of girls with tattoo sleeves and they just look so amazing. That's a neg.
How is that an egg?
I love your tattoo sleeve.
Yep.
But I also see a lot of girls with them and I always like it on them. It
I
always
guess
looks so great.
I wouldn't have taken that as a negative. I would have been like, okay, cool, thanks.
It's not supposed to be taken as a negative. It's a negative positive. It's a negative positive compliment. And this is to bring it like back down. And this is the theory, right? From the side of that. It's women hold a lot of the power, right? So men tend to want to try to sell themselves to a woman. And this is a negative because women don't want to hear you talk just about everything you have and what you do and
No.
all the things. So men tend to do that. what you need to do subconsciously is get a woman to tell you about herself and why she stands out, and not the other way around. Men should not sit there and be like, well, men are okay with a woman doing it. It's fine. But women don't generally like it.
No.
So you have to lean the conversation is to why do you stand out? Tell me why I should want to talk to you, in a sense.
Yeah, I will say that's a good point you brought up. When men talk about the things they have or the possessions they have, it's not it's not a turn on. It's a turn off, because it feels like they're trying to buy your affection. And I want to know, like, what makes you tick? Like, who are you? Like, I don't care what kind of car you drive. I mean, I do if you pick me up in a beater, you know what I mean? But I don't care. I don't care for the most part. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like when people flaunt money. That is the biggest turn off for me.
Yeah. You'd rather see it, and this is a tip for the men out there. A woman would rather see you flaunt it tipping someone a good tip. Tipping a waitress, tipping a bartender. Yep. That's more of a flex of who you are financially. And the sucky part is as well, like, the level of, like, the experience that you have on a date. That's don't say it, show it kind of thing, which kind of sucks if you're going on a bunch of dates.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a thing that.
But that's the other problem with society. Why are you dating 15 people at a time? Cannot one person take a week, maybe 2 weeks, to get to know one human, decide whether or not it's going to work or not before they go to the next?
Yeah.
Because I believe if you're dating 2, 3, 4 people at the same time, because you're not putting enough energy into one, you're just trying to see what sparkles the best. You know what I mean? And I think it's
a fear of missing out. It's FOMO.
Yeah. And I think that's a problem with dating in society today too. Everybody just wants to make sure that they're checking out all their options and they're getting the best. How about you spend time with one person, give it a week, give it a couple of dates. You might actually really like the person, see how it goes. But if you're juggling, then you are not giving that person the benefit of the doubt. You're not giving that person your actual time and energy to see if they impress you, to see if you align, because you're thinking about that next date. Like, ooh, this girl's really good. I wonder if Tanya's going to do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree
with that. Is that my doorbell?
Yeah, I think so.
We got a new guest.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, I think too, like, you can, even like when I first started dating Marie, I knew I couldn't buy her like a car or buy her a house, right then and there. But like one night after work, I said, hey, meet me, let's go to the gas station right across the street. And I filled her tank up. Or,
oh, that was nice.
You know, or I knew she was in school, and I think she had like a janky computer. So I had an iPad Pro that when I tell you, I didn't even turn the damn thing on. I just never used it. And so I was like, hey, would this be helpful to you if I gave this to you?
Yeah.
For you to do your schoolwork or whatever. And I think, you know, I think you can just always find, as you want to, like you said, spend time with that one person, give that energy to that one person, and then find where you can, again, just make their lives better in certain areas. It doesn't always have to be something extravagant or something expensive.
I agree.
Or just find the things that they need that'll make their experience better right then and there. I just think you should always be trying, at the expense of sound like Mother Teresa, you should always be trying to enhance the experience that your person is having on a consistent basis.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And the way you did it was very tasteful.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make her feel bad because maybe she didn't have the means. I'm not saying that was the case with her, but maybe she didn't have the means or the ability to do it. You were just trying to make her life easier. And then there was no expectation for you gifting that to her. It was purely out of the joy of your heart to help her make her life easier.
Everybody
like those you can fill up my tank.
Who's gonna be mad if you fill the tank up?
I ain't gonna be mad.
Me neither. UPS.
Oh.
So, y'all were talking about relationship side of things.
No, he was talking about flaunting the money and like how there's different ways to do it.
Yes.
Without like not different ways to flaunt, but different ways to show. Like if you're in a position where you can do certain things, there's ways to do it from a tasteful side rather than like flaunting or trying to look grandiose.
Right. Let me throw something at you, Heather. If let's say you're in a group of 5 girls, okay, and you have one of the people in that group there's always a mother hen, they call it. There's always like the mother hen. She's probably generally married, or
Heavier.
the heavier, the more domineering person of the group of friends. They call it a gatekeeper in some situations.
Cock
So
blocker.
say a guy opens up your group of girls,
Okay.
and he walks in. You're standing here. There's one next to you, and the 3 other friends. He goes straight into the mother hen and creates like a little connection. Hey, I'm Carter, blah, blah, blah. And he goes on and he starts talking, but he gets to a point where he doesn't even introduce himself to you. But y'all had already looked at each other. Like for a second, you recognized him. He recognized you. He comes over and he doesn't even acknowledge you in the group at that moment. How would that make you feel?
Yeah, I'm not interested.
You're not interested.
Not interested. That's
Okay.
a game to me, and I will spot that immediately, and that's going to be a turn off.
Immediately
no.
you'll spot it.
No.
If he's,
No.
hey,
to the mother
and
hen,
then-
because people can tell like this is going to be the difficult one. Introduced himself to her first, maybe gave her a smile or whatever, and then went around and introduced himself to everybody in the group, including myself. That's different. But if you're purposely trying not to me, I'd be like, he's a game player, and I'm not down for it.
Yeah. So you would spot it as a game.
I would spot it as a game.
I would agree.
Mhm.
I would agree.
Yeah, not interested. Your girl is old. We're not trying to play games. We want straight to the point and honesty.
What if he played it off with, hey, I'm Carter. Y'all look, and whatever, jumped straight into like a question or conversation. But it almost felt like it wasn't an intentional exclusion. Made this mother hen like take a tone down, and then, hey, you're actually why I came over.
I would still think that I guess I'd have to be in that situation, but I'd be like, if I'm why you came over, then you should go for what you want and you should come over and talk.
I think it'd work.
But I don't know. I'm different. I'm a special breed.
I think it would work.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like that. Like I feel like if
it feels like a game, then yes.
Yes, I feel like if you have intention, if you see me and you just need to get through the barriers that may be my difficult crowd, that's one thing. But if you try to like make it to where I'm purposely the last person you're connecting with, or you're like, get out of here.
Not connecting in like intimate moments with everyone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just, hey, are y'all having fun tonight? And then once that moment of like, okay, he's not a psycho serial killer, then he connects with you. I'm like, hey,
Did he already
do you
introduce
have a
himself
second?
to me?
Yeah, you could have said hi.
Okay. I thought you were saying
he's
like he
like-
just ignored me, talked to everybody in the group, and then like you're the one I came up. No, he's kind of
No,
actively
just-
talked to all of us, and then said something to one of my friends like, "Got to be honest with you, she caught my eye, or you caught my eye." That's fine. Like, yeah, that would work. But if you are just completely like excluding me and saying hi to everybody, and then you want to come to me and say you're the reason I came over, you're like, well, should have said that 6 friends ago. So
Yeah, it's definitely got to be played right
yes,
to make everyone feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But it is something that I'm just wondering from your perspective, would you look at it? Because there's, right or wrong,
yeah.
there's a little voice in everyone's head
Mm-hmm.
that says, well, why didn't they just come up and talk to me straight?
Yeah.
Why didn't they? I smiled at him or she smiled at me. Why is she entertained? So there is a part of us that will lean into that in some ways to be like, I don't know.
I'm serious, but you know what?
I think in certain situations, like I think if you can recognize it, you know what it is, then that's different than not knowing what it is.
I'm an analyzer. Like it comes with like I'm a trained observer. I'm going to observe.
Yeah. So you might be, yeah.
I'm a little bit more challenging, but look what I did for work for 20 years. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like no. And I've seen a lot.
Would that intimidate the guy though?
What?
The analyzation of that.
I mean, if it does, then he either needs to step up his game or he just needs to be straightforward, right? Like, just like I'm not gonna bite. Like, just come up to me and say what you got to say. I'll be gentle.
He might think you'll bite.
Well, I won't. I get it though.
What?
It's just gonna be like I mean, maybe I am difficult.
But okay, this may be controversial, but I think men have to have a game plan. I'm sorry. You have
just like a guy, like just
you have to have a game plan as a man.
Yeah.
Because we don't own the night.
1,000%.
We have
don't
to
make it a game.
we
Have a
have to
plan, but not a game.
perceive, we have to give the presence that we are that we don't care in a sense of like the situation. Not don't care.
Yeah.
But don't care about the like just I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a single guy, there's this game plan in your head. I do want to meet someone. I
Okay.
would love to. Let's be real. In those situations, this could be a one night thing, or it could be a long term thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't got that far. On the just the chance that I could talk to someone, have a connection, flirt, those happen almost every time a guy goes out if he's single. And so he has to have a game plan, but he's going into it. You're not. You don't own the night.
Yeah.
But you have to be perceived as controlling for all the different perspectives and ways that it could go, but don't seem over eager, because that will get you out the door as well. You're not an over eager dude is gonna be like, whoa, calm the hell down. It's like a weird dance that a dude has to do. And if he doesn't go in with a game plan on
I
how
think
to
organic though. Like today, I went to the pharmacy. And just as I was walking in, a guy was walking out. Now, not my or anything like that, but he was walking out. He just looked like he was caught off guard, right? And he gave me a genuine compliment about my hair. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. It was very genuine, and he left. So while I'm waiting in line, get my prescription, he comes back in. Now, he asked a legitimate question, or appeared to be a legitimate question, right? But I knew what he was doing was stalling, waiting for me to finish so that he could say something to me.
Did he?
Yes. But he didn't. Obviously, I said, I've let him down gently, and very gently. And but the way he did it seemed organic. Like he was just nervous. You know what I mean? He was nervous. But what I did respect is that he saw something. He's like, I don't want to miss this chance, so I'm going to take a chance. And he came back in.
Yeah, that's confidence.
So that's confidence, and I very much respected that. You know what I mean? I'm in a position right now where I'm just focusing on growing my business and not.
In any world, though, would he have had a chance?
This person, I guess, I don't know. What I did physically, not somebody that I would be interested in, but he really exuded like a non-arrogant sense of confidence, which would make somebody go, I wonder if there's more to him. It makes you want to get to know somebody. I'm not saying I wanted to get to know him more, but I did notice his confidence. I knew the reason he came back in. He didn't do it in a creepy way. He did a good job.
But okay, let's lay that out. He played a little bit of a game.
I think he came in and didn't know where I was going to be. Was I going to be actively talking to a receptionist? Was I going to be on my way out? Do you know what I mean? So I think he rolled with whatever happened.
Right. So he had a plan.
Yeah, he had a plan to come back in there.
He had a plan.
He had a plan to come back in there. But he did it with intention. And so when I said I want with intention, he did it with intention. And he was polite. He wasn't creepy. He was confident. And he was just a nice guy. It just wasn't.
That all falls into what I said. A guy should have a plan, intention. Don't make someone creeped out. There is, and this is right or wrong, there is a little game you have to play.
But he wasn't premeditated. He walked out. I caught him off guard. He was like, "Oh!" Literally, I could tell. I caught him off guard. Gave me a compliment about my hair, but it was like a really quick. I wish I could explain this because it was funny. It's like I saw all the emotions. He opened the door. His eyes got big. He saw me, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was something about my hair. You know what I mean?
He picked a thing. He did exactly what I'm talking about.
And he walked out.
He said something about it. He made a verbal connection with you. He left, then came back.
He's like, I got to go try.
it.
But that wasn't premeditated. It was like, that was organic.
All right.
I was like, what I mean?
Okay, so premeditated.
He wasn't hanging out at the pharmacy trying to find a girl.
No. But okay, you're going hunting.
Yeah.
For deer.
Yeah.
It's your property.
Yeah.
And you see a rabbit pop out. You're kind of surprised at the rabbit, but you're going to still take the shot. So you see what I'm saying? If you're in that single life, you're ready at all angles to do it at the grocery store or the doctor's office or the pharmacy.
I suppose that makes sense.
Because in that moment, he could have said, whoa, love your hair.
Yeah.
I'm going to come walk with you. He could have just did it. Well, I need more stuff out of this store, of course. Like made the joke and walked right back in. But he thought about it. He's like, no, I got to do this. I got to go.
Yeah.
And so he made a calculated move, which men should do, which women may say, I don't want to do that's calculated. Well, then how the hell is he supposed to be? if he's not calculated,
Yeah.
you don't want a fumsy dude who doesn't know what he's doing or what he wants. What do you think, Brandon?
That's what I'm saying. That was the confidence.
Yeah, no, I probably just would not have let you get in line with what you were doing. I probably would have. He had already diffused whatever by
Yeah.
acknowledging the fact that your hair was nice. Or I remember one time I walked because I'm always trying to make some sort of lighthearted connection with anyone that I come in contact with,
Mhm.
just by default. So I remember one time I walked by this girl. She was obviously pretty, but I noticed her eyebrows. Like her eyebrows just looked good. And I don't know shit about eyebrows, but I went, "Hey, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but you have really nice eyebrows." I thought that girl was gonna give me her ovaries. Like she was just like, "That's so nice of you to say." She's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much, so much." And then we just continue to talk because I feel like once you like
Yeah.
not break down that wall, once you allow yourself to walk through the door that someone has gently opened for you, just keep on talking.
Yeah.
I would not have left you unless I saw that you were in a hurry and on a mission, which you probably always look like you're on a mission. But
I
if you probably would have just continued on down that path and then try to make maybe a little bit more small talk with you about maybe some other things that just to get you laughing, get you feeling good and elevate your vibration to where even if I'm not your type, I've given you enough of myself in 30 seconds or a minute for you to be like, okay, well, he's not physically my type, but man, the feeling, the vibration that I get from this individual
yes.
makes me want to spend a little more time with them. And so I do think you have to have a plan, but I think the plan has to be genuine. And I just don't think you can go wrong by trying to
Yes.
elevate somebody's vibration, which is what I do, whether it's a friend or it's a girl that I'm trying to court, or if it's my freaking mom. I just want the person to leave feeling better than they did before they came in
Yeah.
contact. And I think that I think you set yourself up for success a lot more often than not if you just lead from that. I think that's as
Yeah.
organic as you get with having a game plan.
Your
Yeah.
words cannot be something you wouldn't do or say.
Mhm.
You can't have a fake game plan and come up with, which some people would train people to do this, come up with a script on what to say. And the only reason to do that is if you have zero confidence, you need to build the confidence so that you need to go get numbers. You need to go out and you need to talk to girls and maybe say the same script. Maybe come up with, there's a story that you have or something, and you need to repeat that so that you can build that confidence. Now, I'm being devil's advocate tonight. I feel like I'm throwing out some stuff, but this is a theory. Okay. The less attractive a woman is, the softer the compliment to open a conversation up can be. The hotter the woman is, the harsher or firmer the confidence and compliment. I'll give you an example. A girl that's not that attractive but cute and just someone you might want to talk to and get to know. Wow, you look so pretty. A girl that is out of your league. This is where I might lose some people, but it works. I'm telling you. You might walk up and say, "Who the fuck are you?" That might be your first open. See the difference in the confidence of like, because that beautiful woman gets, "You're so pretty" all the time. You got to be different. You got to be firm. You got to come in strong with a much more beautiful woman, way out of your league, versus a girl that may be at your league or lower. Hands down. You have to, because you will not be remembered if you're just like, "Hi, you look so pretty tonight. I like your hair." You need to be like, "Damn, girl, who the fuck are you?" Like, seriously.
Yeah.
What's your fucking name? Like, coming in, right or wrong, it does work.
I don't know how. I mean, I agree with the strong or to stand out, but I don't know how I'd feel if somebody came out like using like fuck.
I don't know. I think when there's some drinks in hand, it's different, and if it's done with a smile and use facial expressions, body language, that all plays in. It can't just be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
It can't be that. It's got to be in a way that's like a pause, like, "Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Where have you been all my life?" Like those kind of over the top.
Are you a vending machine?
Are you a vending machine? Because you look like a snacky snack.
No, I do think the more attractive, I think more intentional and strong the compliment does need to be. Like, for instance, if I saw Heather, I would go, "Hey, I want you to know I really love your hair, and I love when girls especially wear ponytails because you can really see how pretty a girl is in their face whenever they wear their ponytail. I can see all your lips, I can see all your teeth, I can see all your eyes. You're just so pretty, and the hair just kind of is all out of the way." Like, I would try to be intentional about pointing out very specific things, not just your hair is cute. Sure, she knows her fucking hair is cute. She came out to be cute. She knows her fucking hair
It's
is cute.
bolder. It's a bolder, more
Yeah,
intentional compliment that kind of takes them off guard because they weren't expecting that level of detail or strength in the compliment that kind of off balances them a little bit because there's internal butterflies that happen when you're off balance.
and
Like,
and
I
somebody
mean,
that can give you something that quick within 20 seconds of seeing you too. I just think that's just extremely intentional and on purpose and thought out. You're not gaming. You're just, again, you're taking it to the next level and raising their vibration. Your hair's cute. No, man, I really, really love when girls do that flare thing. I don't even know what it's called that you've got going on right there, but I really, really like that. It makes you
that's a
look
neg, Brandon.
and elevate, you know.
That you just threw a little neg in there. You didn't even know it.
Well,
I
listen,
love it when
did you
girls
call me a
do
neg?
that. You know, you're my neg, man. Man, you're gonna make me blush over here.
I am.
We're at almost 2
hours.
hours. Man, Heather's like, this date is over. I'm more out. Y'all don't even buy dinner.
I am.
Where's my dessert? This is
Got
so
some
much
wine.
fun.
What's that?
You did
Got
get
some wine.
I did get some wine.
This was a blast.
Yeah.
We're gonna do more of these. There's practical things, men and women, that you can take away from this. I guess boiling down, it's communication, it's intentionality, it's appreciation, and just being real. Guys, go out with a game plan. Don't shoot from the hip. Be intentional. Raise your status to the status of the person you're trying to talk to and or above. And women, go easy on men. Just be nice.
I agree.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Elevate their vibration, man.
Exactly. Elevate their vibration and just be intentional and get out of your ego. It all goes back to being present. Be present in the moment on any connection or encounter with someone new or a date. Just be present with that. And I think all the other things will fall in place. You will be kind. You will be gentle. You will be respectful. And ask questions. Guys, ask damn questions. All right.
I agree.
Thank you, Post Nut Clarity Nation. Till next time.
Do you feel like we nutted?
We definitely nutted.
Are
We
we
definitely got.
clear now?
I think we got off. All right. Love you guys. Till next time.